From the show's creator having mapped out 3 seasons to incredibly positive reviews and a nail-biting climax, these are all the newly revealed details and signs pointing towards Beef Season 2. This Netflix original premiered on April 6, 2023, and quickly became one of the most talked about shows of the year, with 10 episodes that are both hilarious and heart-wrenching. It's no wonder that Beef has already garnered such rave reviews. Starring Ali Wong and Steve Yeun, this show is a masterclass in acting. Wong and Yeun, both known for their comedic prowess, have really outdone themselves in their dramatic roles. The chemistry between these two actors is electric, and the way they play off each other is truly something special. With a critical consensus of 98% of an audience approval rating of 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's clear that the world is loving what Beef has to offer. But what is Beef all about, you might be wondering? Well, it's the story of Amy Lau, played by Wong, and Danny Cho, played by Yeun, two strangers whose lives are forever intertwined after a road rage incident makes headlines. This unexpected event leads them down a path that's full of twists and turns, and the journey is as emotional as it is entertaining. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll be left wanting more. One of the things that sets Beef apart is its unique blend of dark humor and tear-jerking drama. The show is able to navigate these two extremes with ease, creating a roller coaster of emotions that will keep you on the edge of your seat. But that's not all. Beef also has some playfully surreal flourishes that add an extra layer of whimsy to the story. And if that's not enough for you, the show also boldly explores issues of race, class, and mental health, making it a thought-provoking watch as well. What starts as a simple middle finger in a hardware store parking lot quickly turns into a series of increasingly insane events. Stalking? Check. Vandalism? Check. Illicit affairs? Check. Kidnapping? Check. Murder? Check. But amidst all the chaos, there's a glimmer of hope for both Danny and Amy. Throughout the first season, we see that these two characters have a lot in common. They're both Asian Americans who've struggled with their identities in predominantly white spaces. They both have complicated relationships with their families and a deep-seated anger towards themselves and those around them. And despite their different socioeconomic statuses, they both feel trapped in their respective lives. Amy is under intense pressure to provide for her family and close a multi-million-dollar deal, selling her startup business to insufferable home supply store magnate Jordan. Meanwhile, Danny is running his own struggling handyman business and trying to be a positive influence on his troubled brother Paul. But no matter how hard they try, nothing seems to go right for either of them. Their feud with each other only escalates, despite the fact that they actually have a lot in common. The show does a really good job of towing the line, making you root for each of them by making it clear that they are both pretty messed up people. Their hatred for each other continues to spiral out of control until everything comes to a head in the last episode, which did feel like a conclusion in a lot of ways, leaves so much on the table to explore in future seasons. Because, let me tell you folks, the finale of Beef is a real nail-biter. Seriously, I had no idea where this show was gonna go. After a series of wild events, they find themselves in a situation where they need to rely on each other to survive. But even as they work together to find their way out of the wilderness, they continue to bicker, completely unable to put their hatred aside. Amy breaks Danny's arm in a struggle over a gun, after Danny pushes Amy off a hill, twisting her ankle. Then they both get violently ill from eating poisonous berries. The berries send them on a psychedelic trip that opens them up to each other, and they end up forming a unique understanding of each other. As they talk, they realize that they're more alike than they ever thought possible. The next morning, they manage to find the road and get their cell service back, only to be found by Amy's husband, George, who had been trying to find her. He sees Danny carrying Amy along due to her ankle, but mistakenly thinks he's trying to hurt her. George shoots Danny, leaving him critically injured. The season closes on Amy curling up with Danny in his hospital bed, waiting for him to wake up. At the last moment, we see Danny's arm move to return Amy's embrace, showing that he is alive. Now, even though this does feel like a conclusion in a lot of ways, as Danny and Amy finally putting their beef aside has meant they were able to grow as people. Despite the uncertain future they face with their lives a total mess. But seeing as the finale took us to some pretty crazy places, including a kidnapping and someone being cut in half at the waist, seriously, this show goes off the rails. It leaves itself open to even more drama going forward and feels like it is really preparing for a second season. Luckily for you, we've done some digging. Beef Season 2 has yet to be officially announced by Netflix, but creator Lee Sung-jin has some exciting ideas for the future of the show. While the Season 1 finale wrapped up Danny and Amy's story nicely, Jin has revealed that he has big plans for the characters if the show were to return. I think should we be blessed with a Season 2, there's a lot of ways for Danny and Amy to continue. I have one really big general idea that I can't really say yet, but I have 3 seasons mapped out in my head currently, Jin told Rolling Stone. Clearly, he has a lot of ideas for where the show could go in the future. While Beef was originally pitched as a limited anthology, with a sense of closure to Danny and Amy's story, Jin has indicated that there is still room to explore these characters further. Cards on the table, we did pitch this show as a limited anthology, so there is sort of a close-mindedness to the story of Danny and Amy. But if given the opportunity, of course, I'd love to explore them further, because Danny and Amy, I love those characters, he told Elle. It's pretty clear that there is a lot of potential for Beef to continue, with its strong writing, excellent acting, and gripping plot. Although Jin did admit that he wanted to give the first season of closure, just in case. While we don't know yet if Netflix will pick up the show for a second season, fans of the series can certainly hope for more of Danny and Amy's wild and unpredictable journey. When it comes to renewals, Netflix can be a bit unpredictable. The streaming giant typically waits at least a month before making any decisions, giving it time to evaluate the show's performance in its crucial first 28 days. Ultimately, the fate of Beef will come down to the numbers. How long will it stay in the top 10 chart? And do the viewing figures and revenue justify the cost of production? These are all questions that Netflix will be looking to answer in the coming weeks. Mindy Kaling, a prominent figure in the entertainment industry, has praised Beef for its portrayal of Asian rage, ambition, and lust. In a tweet, she expressed her admiration for the show's writing and the incredible performances of its talented cast. As a South Asian herself, she saluted the show for its groundbreaking representation of Asian culture. Kaling is not the only one who's been singing the praises of Beef. Other viewers have called it one of the best series they have seen all year. One Twitter user called it a dark, twisted chance of fate that escalates into chaos, with both characters purged by repressed anger, generational trauma, and loneliness. They went on to call it a must-watch show. It's clear that Beef has struck a chord with audiences, both for its authentic portrayal of the Asian American experience and for its compelling storytelling. With its strong critical reception and enthusiastic fan base, the show has the potential to become a major hit for Netflix. Of course, there are many factors that go into a renewal decision, but at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line for Netflix. If Beef can continue to perform well and generate revenue for the company, there's a good chance we'll see more of Danny and Amy in the future. Only time will tell. Though, with the incredible Rotten Tomatoes score along with fans begging for more, and that nail-biting tease of a cliffhanger, we're more than sure this will be renewed in the coming weeks. Regardless if the series makes it to a second season, there is no doubt that Beef will be remembered as an incredible highlight of 2023.